Hello and welcome to another IGN Give This a 7 But Is It Really Though? And today I'm going to be taking a look at the SNK 40th Anniversary Collection. So, I'm gonna try to quickly explain for people who don't know anything about my gaming tastes. I grew up on games like this. I absolutely loved games like this at the time, but as I've gotten older I've noticed my tolerance, I guess, for things that were designed to really just screw you over and eat more money out of you has definitely waned. And even though collections like this allow you to, for the most part, have infinite lives on things, I find them really boring because they don't feel fair, they don't feel fun. You're constantly being one-shot by things because they're designed to be killing you. So you either have to constantly use like the rewind feature on the collection if you're trying not to die. I mean, obviously there's people out there who beat these games like that, and fair play to you. Like, I will never have that. I'm not going to say I'll never have that skill, because if I wanted to, I know fine well I'd be able to develop the skill. This is something another YouTuber I absolutely love brought up with fighting games. If you want to actually get into something, if you have the drive, you'll be able to get better at it. And I know fine well if I had the drive, but I don't have the drive. I'm never going to have the drive with games like this, because they all get so samey and so bland and blend together. And this actual collection has 25 games in it, and I know I'm just showing menu footage here, but it's because I'm trying to basically show a little bit of all of the games, because it takes so long to boot into a game, to load, play a little bit, then exit the game, that this is genuinely, I figured, faster, and then that way I'll just end with a game that I actually want to show off, because there is one I really want to talk about. I'd never heard of it before. I don't know why people don't rave about it, and the fact that even the Japanese version also has it, but I'm not going to spoil it, because that's something I should at least bring up. As much as these collections are about the actual games, these collections are definitely about their features, and I've already mentioned like the infinite lives, the being able to rewind time and that. You can also, some games choose between different regions. You can choose between like the American, the Japanese. I don't know if Europe's there or if it's just like kind of an all-in-one. I've just realised I forgot to show off Paddle Wars, and I think now I've actually broke the menu. Okay, so yeah, I've actually broke the menu. I don't know if the video still says it's recording, so I guess I'm booting back into this. This is actually the third time this game has crashed on me very recently, because I was playing through some of this just to obviously do the video, and yeah, it's, don't know what it is. Maybe it's a Switch 2 compatibility thing, because it never used to crash on me on the Switch 1. So anyway, Paddle Mania was the one that I was trying to show off, because there's a tennis thing. So you can choose between regions, you can choose between console versions or the arcade version on some of them. But for the most part, this collection of games, as you're probably noticing, has a lot of vertical shooters. And those are specifically the games that I'm kind of... if you are going to give me a shoot 'em up, be it vertical, horizontal scrolling, whatever, it needs to be an exceptionally good one. I'm finding these days I'm struggling to really vibe with such simplistic games these days, which is a fault of my own. It's just my own patience, my own tolerance. There's some people out there who probably absolutely love at least one or two of these games in this. There's maybe 5 or 6 that I actually enjoyed enough to play through and will play through maybe again at some point, but for the most part, it's also the sort of thing of 2 or 3 of them are the same genre, so I didn't want to just, for example, beat through all of Time Soldiers here and then immediately move on to, I'm going to assume you see a tank, but it's TNK3, because it's also a vertical shooter. Like, there's a lot of sameness, and it's a little disappointing, because this being the 40th anniversary collection. Now, I fully get why this collection exists, and for game preservation, I am over the moon that it exists. But when you think of SNK having a 40th anniversary, you kind of think of their big name games, don't you? You don't really think of a lot of the stuff here that no one really cares about for the most part. There are some people out there who care about Akari Warriors. I actually know one of them in real life, but for the most part, you want your Metal Slugs, you want your King of Fighters, you want your Fatal Furies, you want your Top Hunter, Roddy and Cathy. Like, there's so many. I have covered so many SNK games on this channel. I love old SNK, but it turns out I don't love old SNK. So I'm going to put this one on, though, which I'd never ever heard of Psycho Soldier before, and I'm going to try to shut up so you can listen when it kicks in. But the Japanese version also has it, but it is in Japanese, and I've put the American version on just so you can hear it in English. So hopefully you can hear that, but just in case, basically the main character is singing. Just singing a song. Why has no one ever told me there was an arcade game where when you put it on, you just get sung at by either a Japanese singer or an American singer? Like, no one has ever told me of this game before I got this collection, and then I was like, I'm kind of in love with it. It's just so silly, so dorky, so goofy, and I'm not gonna lie, the song's kind of good. At first I was like, what the hell? And then the more I started to play it, it's like, you know what? I'm vibing with this. Like, just no one has brought this game up to me before. So yeah, now I kind of come to the awkward part. You can probably already tell from the way I'm talking, but this is one of those where I actually see why IGN give this a 7. And I've said this before with the Turtles collection. I fully get why collections are the hardest thing and one of the easiest things to just slap a 7 on, because you kind of don't want to annoy the people who actually do care about this, but also if you don't vibe with a lot of it, then this is just this thing of games. Like, I've grown up in the era where you could get plug and play stuff, and you literally would plug it into your TV and play it, and you would get the jankiest emulation. That's honestly what these collections remind me of, unfortunately. They're fine enough if you've got absolutely nothing else to play, but it's not something I would ever choose to play. So I personally would rate all of these games below a 7, and therefore the collection below a 7. But at the same time, I understand why IGN did it as a 7, because the actual collection is fine. It's 25 games, some of them are going to be a lot better than others. The features that you get in the game, and the actual collection features and the emulation and that is fine and fair enough. So I do feel a 7's kind of fair. As much as I wouldn't rate any of the games individually. I mean, maybe this one, this is 10, this is a masterpiece, let's be real, it's the song that makes it that way. But other than that, I wouldn't really rate anything as amazing, and even then I know I'm kind of tongue-in-cheek. This is just the whole campy queerness of it all. I just love it. This is the sort of thing that I do genuinely like for some reason. Again, probably the campy queerness of it. But yeah, I wouldn't rate any of it exceptional, any of it even half decent, and I don't think it's something that I would ever recommend to anyone other than if you did actually grow up with this era of SNK and you have nostalgia for it. So I am going to say it, yeah, IGN giving this a 7, I think that's honestly fair. It's probably fairer than I would rate it, but at the same time, again, these videos are about discussing why I see them giving a 7, why I think one way or the other, and in this case, yeah, I do see the 7 being fair. So, with that, this has been another video done. So, I have been Sky Fellowship, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Until the next time, bye!